Welcome to Chem series. We have already discussed rate of the reaction, factors affecting rate of the reaction, and rate law, zero order reaction. And even we have solved many problems related to rate of the reaction. And now we'll continue the part 3 chemical kinetics about first order reaction. The rate is directly proportional to the concentration of one of the reactants. That is, take this reaction, the reactant it gives product. At time 0, initial concentration of the reactant will be A naught, and that at that time the product will be 0. At time T, that is after few moment of the reaction, the initial concentration will be converted to few amount of product X, and at that time the reactant will be A. Okay. So how do we relate rate with the concentration of the reactant? Rate is directly proportional to the concentration of one of the reactants. Since it is a first order reaction, one of the reactant concentration will be directly proportional to your rate. So rate is equal to K into concentration of the reactant A, and K will be your proportionality constant, or it is also known as a rate constant. In this slide, let us solve the derivation of first order so that we will end up with an equation which will be useful for us to calculate rate constant or concentration of the reactant or time. Okay, so rate is equal to K into concentration of the reactant A. And rate can also be written for the disappearance of reactant A, right? We have already seen this in part 1. That is, rate is equal to minus dA by dt, that is equal to Ka. Now take only this two terms and rearrange it like all the concentration of the reactant is on one side and your negative sign over that side. So my dA by A, that is equal to minus Kt. On integrating this equation with respect to time 0 and time t, okay, at the time if you integrate, your lower limit will be your initial concentration to concentration at time t, and for dt the integral will be from 0 to t. So while integrating, 1 by x dx will be ln x. Likewise, 1 by a dA will become ln a. So ln a, and your upper limit will be A, concentration of the reactant A, and your lower limit is initial concentration A naught. That is equal to minus K dt. On integrating dt, it becomes T. And your upper limit is T and your lower limit is 0. Now, applying the upper limit minus lower limit, you get ln A, okay, upper limit minus lower limit, that is ln A minus ln A naught, that is equal to minus K, T minus 0 will become T. And this is your integrated rate law equation. Okay, from this equation, they can ask you for rate constant, K, or time, or even concentration of the reactant at any given time. So remember this equation, try to follow it through derivation, don't memorize it. Okay. Now we will do some modifications in this equation, rearrange them, and you get ln A naught minus ln A, that is equal to Kt. Now there is a logarithm formula, that is ln A by B, that is equal to ln A minus ln B. Here A naught and A is A and B respectively. Okay, so ln A naught minus ln A can be written as ln A naught by A, that is equal to Kt. Now convert ln into log form so that it will be easy for us to solve problems. So for converting, multiply it by 2.303. You get 2.303 log A naught by A, that is equal to Kt. Now keep your t over that side, so that rate constant k, that is equal to 2.303 divided by t log a naught by a. This is your formula for rate constant. Okay. Now let us see the unit of rate constant. We have concentration term divided by concentration term. The unit of concentration is mole per liter. Mole per liter by mole per liter, and the time is in the denominator. The unit of time is second. So your rate constant K is equal to mole per liter divided by mole per liter into second. These two will get cancel each other. So your unit of rate constant is second power minus 1. This is the unit of rate constant for first order reaction. Okay. Now coming to half-life of first order reaction. What is half-life? It is the time required to decrease the amount of a given reactant by 1/2. And it is denoted as T-half. That is, if you have 100 moles of reactant, and how much time is required to convert it into 50 moles, and that time required will be your half-life, T-half. Okay. For calculating its half-life, let's substitute T by T-half and concentration of the reactant A by A naught by 2. Why A naught by 2? Because A naught by 2 is the amount of initial concentration of the reactant, right? That's why. Take this final rate constant equation. In this, when we substitute, we get K is equal to 2.303 divided by T half log A naught by A naught by 2. Instead of A, we are substituting A naught by 2. This A naught and A naught will cancel each other, right? So you get K is equal to 2.303 divided by T half log 2. And what is the value of log 2? It is 0.3010. On multiplying it with 2.303, you get K is equal to 0.6931 divided by T half. So cross multiply this T half here because we need half-life, right? So T half is equal to 0.6931 divided by K. This is your T half formula, half-life formula of first order reaction. And its unit is second. Okay. And you see the half-life of first order reaction does not depend on the initial concentration of the reactant. But you know, when we study zero order reaction, we have seen that the half-life of zero order reaction depends on initial concentration, right? Do you remember that? Okay. So there is a trick for first order reaction, that is when they asked you the time required for 90% completion of the reaction, then you just need to multiply your T half with 3.33. Okay, then that will be your time required for 90% completion. And if they asked you the time required for 99.9% completion of reaction, then you need to multiply your T half with 10. That will be your time required for 99% of completion of the reaction. So these are the two tricks, but they will ask this frequently in many competitive exams like CSIR GATE. So you just need to memorize only this formula so that it will be easy and you can do it in fraction of seconds, right? This, if they ask this problem. So coming to the graph of the first order reaction. This is your integrated rate law equation, right? Do you remember? We have solved this before. From this equation, we can obtain a graph. Just rearrange this like ln A is equal to ln A naught minus KT. Okay, you just take this term over that side. Then y is equal to c minus mx. This graph format will be opt for this equation because you see y can be of ln A and the intercept will be ln A naught, and your slope is k, that is the rate constant, and on your x-axis you have time t. So this is the graph format of y is equal to c minus mx, and I have discussed 4 graph formats in my part 2 chemical kinetics. So if you see that, it will be easy for you to know that how y is equal to c minus mx came here. So on substituting your y, c, mx on your graph, you get on your y-axis ln A, and the intercept will be ln A naught, and the slope is k, and on your x-axis you have time t. So this is your graph for the first order reaction. Let's recall what we have studied in first order reaction. We have seen that rate is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactant, right? And from that we derived the integrated rate law equation, that is ln A minus ln A naught, that is equal to minus KT. This is the integrated rate law equation. And we modified this equation to a very simpler rate constant equation, that is k is equal to 2.303 divided by T log A naught by A. The unit is second power minus 1. And we even solved off-life of first order reaction, and we discussed the graph of first order reaction. Okay. So in my next video, the problems related to this topics will be discussed. Thanks for watching the video.